Tell us about this here. That's why you're in town, essentially, isn't it? That's the message you're trying to give out, that you are positive on China, positive on India.
We are indeed very positive on China. We are also increasingly positive on India. It was a right decision to put a strong footprint into China about 15 years ago by our then parent company Bayer. Now we are benefiting from that because we are seeing the largest growth rates in the Chinese market.
What are you seeing in particular here? I mean, part of it is, of course, this move into green energy. It's beyond that, though, isn't it?
Certainly, it's the move into green energy driven by the 5-year plan from the Chinese government, but it's, as you say, it's beyond that, because all the mega trends that we are seeing, like urbanization, like an increase in mobility, are driving the demand for our products. And it's predominantly lightweight, it's insulation, it's energy efficiency that we are supporting.
Right. So tell us what you are doing, because at the moment, I mean, you have manufacturing in China now as well, and you, of course, have to have a joint venture with other people. How does that work out for you doing business? How's the ease of business been for you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, in our industry, it's important to be close to your customers. So therefore, we need to have production hubs where our customers are. Therefore, the investment 15 years ago and the construction that lasted for the last decade or so to put a production footprint into China, into Shanghai, was an important decision. Now we're benefiting from that because we're seeing a large demand both in polyurethanes and polycarbonates, which are the most important products for us in the Chinese market.
Right, you're already investing heavily at the moment in China. I think you've got a plant coming up which is not really going to, I think it comes on stream 2019 or thereabouts when it's at full capacity?
Well, we already have a strong footprint, a strong production capacity. We just announced that we will increase our production capacity in polycarbonates by about 50%, and that will come on stream gradually as we see demand growing 2019, 2020.
Frank, you spoke about the need to be close to your customers, but when you're doing business in China, it's also, let's face it, important to be close to the government. How do you find that aspect of doing business in the country, and how easy or difficult or challenging it is to deal with policy which sometimes can seemingly change very, very frequently?
Honestly, Heidi, we don't have any reason to complain, because what we have seen in the past, what we are seeing today, is that the government is quite supportive, because the products that we are producing are quite important. Especially in Shanghai, the government has a strong interest in finding a balance between the services industry and the industrial industry, the chemical industry, and therefore all the permits that we need for our production facilities we get in time, and therefore we can produce as much as we want.
You guys have done pretty well since the IPO in 2015. What's the path for growth going forward? Are you looking at M&A deals? Are you feeling optimistic about what kind of assets there are around?
Well, so far, our focus has clearly been on organic growth, also given the fact that we've just been an independent company for about 18 months and initially started our journey with a lot of debt on our balance sheet. The clear focus initially was to reduce the leverage on the balance sheet. That has happened much faster than initially planned, so therefore we now have the opportunity to also look not only into organic growth, but also into M&A. We don't have a shopping list yet, but of course, if we are looking around, we see that the whole market is consolidating, and we want to be a consolidator there as well.
When are you going to list on the DAX?
Good question. I think we are making all the progress that we can make and that we can influence from our side.
Well, you're bound to say that, yes.
Yeah. Well, but honestly speaking, it doesn't only depend on us. It also depends on a company dropping out of the DAX, so to make a spot free that we can then occupy.
Right. But there are other markets as well. I mean, would you ever consider listing in this part of the world, for instance, Hong Kong Exchange or something like that? Because many foreign companies have indeed come here, but I don't think any German companies have, though.
Yeah. We don't have any plans to list at any other stock exchange than the Frankfurt Stock Exchange, because when we talk to our investors, we find out that all the international investors have their offices either in Frankfurt or in London or in New York, and these are the financial centers that we visit regularly. And now I'm in Hong Kong, and we visit also our investors here in Hong Kong.